If I told you the key to stronger, more energized legs after 60 wasn't found in a supplement bottle or a gym membership, but in a humble food you probably already have in your kitchen, would you believe me? It might sound too simple, but science says otherwise. A recent breakthrough published in Frontiers in Aging Physiology revealed something astonishing. When adults over 60 consumed a specific food, rich in amino acids, antioxidants, and healthy fats, before bed, they began to show noticeable improvements in leg strength, balance, and energy in just one night. Yes, just one night. How? Because this food doesn't just feed your stomach, it fuels your mitochondria, the microscopic engines inside your muscle cells responsible for strength, recovery, and vitality. And these engines need very specific nutrients to keep your legs from becoming weak, swollen, or unsteady. When we talk about leg health, we're not just talking about mobility. We're talking about dignity, about getting out of a chair with ease, climbing stairs with confidence, and walking without fear of falling. The truth is, once the legs start to go, so does your independence. But here's what most people get wrong. Muscle loss isn't simply an age problem. It's a fuel problem, a timing problem, a cellular communication problem. When you go to bed on an empty stomach or rely on sugar-filled snacks, your body misses a critical window for repair. Your muscles enter the night undernourished and they wake up weaker. But when you feed your body the right nutrients at the right time, it flips the switch. Your muscles recover faster. Your nervous system communicates better. Your legs feel lighter, stronger, and more alive. In this video, we're going to uncover the exact food that helps trigger this transformation, how it works in harmony with your body's natural repair cycle, and how a simple change in your evening routine could restore leg strength, reduce inflammation, and even improve your sleep quality overnight. This isn't a miracle, it's biology, and your body is waiting for the signal. So, how exactly does a simple dietary shift reignite the engines inside your legs? It all comes down to mitochondria, the tiny power plants within your muscle cells. As we age, these mitochondria don't disappear, they just become sluggish. Think of them like dimmed light bulbs. But when you introduce the right nutrients at the right time, you flip the switch back on. Now here's the science. Specific amino acids, especially leucine and glutamine, act like messengers. They trigger something called mTOR signaling, a key biological pathway that tells your muscles, hey, it's time to grow and repair. But here's the catch. This process doesn't work properly unless your circadian clock is in sync. And that's where timing matters. When consumed in the evening, roughly 1 hour before sleep, this nutrient-rich meal aligns with your body's natural repair cycle. Overnight, while you rest, your body gets to work, rebuilding tissue, clearing out inflammation, and recharging your muscular energy centers. This isn't magic, it's chrononutrition. It's biology operating on your body's internal clock. So here's what you can do starting tonight. Step 1. Prepare a light, protein-rich evening meal. Think cottage cheese with berries or a scoop of collagen in warm almond milk. Add a pinch of turmeric or cinnamon to support anti-inflammatory effects. Step 2. Consume it 60 to 90 minutes before bed. This timing gives your body the perfect launch window to absorb and activate muscle repair during sleep. Step 3. Commit to consistency. One night helps, but doing this regularly, that's where transformation begins. For decades, we believed that muscle vanished with age due to atrophy, less use, fewer hormones. But cutting-edge neuroscience tells a different story, one filled with hope. Here's what we now understand. Many people over 60 still have the muscle tissue. It's just not online. Why? Because the motor neurons, the wires connecting your brain and spine to your muscles, begin to weaken in your 40s, especially in your legs. The signal telling your muscle to move gets fuzzy, like a weak radio station. So your legs don't disappear. They just fall silent. But silence isn't the same as death. And that's the breakthrough. According to researchers from the University of Calgary, older adults who appeared to be losing strength actually had dormant muscle waiting to be reactivated. With the right nutrients and neural signals, they turn back on. So if your legs feel wobbly, or if you're tiring faster than you used to, it's not just old age. It's your body asking for reconnection. And starting tonight, you can begin to answer. What if I told you the weakness in your legs isn't really about your muscles? It's a breakdown in communication. More specifically, the loss of clear messaging between your brain, your spinal cord, and your leg muscles. And that miscommunication, like static on a radio line, is what causes many older adults to feel like their legs are no longer listening. But here's the exciting part. It can be repaired. And the process starts inside your spinal cord. Think of your nervous system like a team of construction foremen directing a crew. The muscles are ready. The workers are standing by. But if the microphone, the megaphone that sends orders, is out of battery, nothing happens. Movement stalls. Strength disappears until you recharge it. The way to recharge? Through the neuromuscular junction, the place where your nerves plug into your muscles. That junction relies on fuel. It needs B vitamins, essential amino acids, and something called choline, a key nutrient for creating acetylcholine, the messenger molecule that tells your legs to move. And the good news, you can restore these pathways in just hours with food. The specific food we're talking about isn't exotic or expensive, but what makes it special is that it combines high-quality protein with exactly the nutrients your nervous system needs to reignite the signal. That means when you eat this food, you're not just feeding your muscles, you're bringing them back online. Here's what that means in practice. Before you try to build new muscle, you need to ask, is my nervous system even using the muscle I already have? Because many seniors aren't suffering from lack of muscle, but from unused muscle. And that's why nutrient timing and content matter. One of the most powerful tools for restoring nerve-muscle communication is leucine. This is an essential amino acid. Your body can't make it, so you must get it from your diet. Leucine is like a molecular switch. When present in the bloodstream, it sends a clear signal to your body. Time to repair, time to rebuild. Within minutes of eating, your body isn't just absorbing calories. It's scanning for signals, biochemical instructions. And leucine is one of the loudest, clearest signals there is. When it hits the system, it activates a process called muscle protein synthesis. That's how your body begins to rebuild strength, not just in bulk, but in function. So before you reach for the next random protein bar or wait for your next doctor's appointment, pause. Ask yourself, is the food I'm eating right now speaking the language of strength? Because if it doesn't contain the nutrients your nervous system craves, like leucine, choline, and B-complex, your legs won't respond the way you want them to. But if it does, then your recovery doesn't start next month. It starts tonight. There's a little-known nutrient quietly working behind the scenes in your body, and it might just be the key to turning back the clock on muscle weakness. It's called leucine. And while it's technically an amino acid, scientists now refer to it as a muscle activator. Why? Because leucine isn't just fuel, it's a signal, a biochemical command that tells your body it's time to rebuild. Now here's where it gets fascinating. Deep inside your cells, there's a control center called mTOR, short for mammalian target of rapamycin. Think of it as the master switch that controls whether your body builds new muscle or lets it waste away. And leucine, it's the finger that flips that switch. When leucine levels in your blood rise after a meal, your mTOR system activates, telling your muscles grow, repair, strengthen. In fact, researchers at several top universities have found that even in adults over 60, a single high leucine meal can jumpstart this process within just a few hours. That's a game changer. Because as we age, our muscles become more stubborn, resisting the usual signals to rebuild. But leucine can override that resistance. It's like upgrading the speaker on your body's internal message system. Suddenly, your muscles start listening again. Now let's talk real-world impact. Have you ever eaten a good meal, maybe even one high in protein, yet still felt weak or drained afterward? The problem isn't always the amount of protein. It's the quality of that protein, and whether it contains enough leucine to trigger a response. Most seniors unknowingly consume just enough protein to slow down muscle loss, but not enough leucine to stimulate growth. That's why timing and source matter more than ever. So what should you do? Start your day with a leucine-rich breakfast. That means eggs, chicken, turkey, lean beef, or even better, whey protein isolate. Whey is one of the richest natural sources of leucine in existence, and its amino acid profile is ideal for rapid muscle recovery. In fact, just 5 to 3 grams of leucine, the amount found in about 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein, is enough to flip the switch on muscle repair. That's why so many physical therapists and geriatric doctors recommend whey protein as a morning habit for their older patients, not just to build bulk, but to restore function, to bring dormant muscle back to life, to help seniors feel strong, balanced, and mobile again. So next time you sit down for breakfast, ask yourself, is this meal going to keep me strong or keep me stuck? Because with the right kind of protein at the right time, your legs might start listening again. But let's pause for a moment, because this isn't just about muscle recovery. This is about reconnection. Reconnecting with the parts of your body that you may have thought were fading, and even more importantly, reconnecting with your sense of control, your confidence, and your ability to move through life without hesitation. You see, when you consume a leucine-rich protein meal, something deeper happens beyond muscle growth. You're not just feeding tissue, you're restarting a powerful conversation between your brain and your muscles. A silent, chemical dialogue that determines whether you feel weak or strong, steady or unstable. And the faster that conversation resumes, the faster you feel your legs come back to life. The messenger at the center of that conversation, a neurotransmitter called acetylcholine. This is the exact chemical your nervous system uses to send movement commands from your brain to your muscles. Let me give you a clearer picture. Every time you think, I want to stand up, your brain doesn't just yell at your legs. It creates acetylcholine, and this compound travels across your neuromuscular junctions to deliver the signal, move now. But here's the kicker. Without enough acetylcholine, that message breaks down. The signal weakens. Your muscles lag, respond too late, or don't respond at all. That's when you feel unstable rising from a chair. That's when a single stair feels like a mountain. And this becomes more critical with age. Studies show that both acetylcholine production and receptor sensitivity begin to decline, especially in the motor neurons controlling the lower body. So what feels like aging might actually be a lack of signal, not a lack of strength. But here's the good news. You can nourish that signal quickly and naturally. Coming up next, we're going to explore the second nutritional powerhouse behind this reconnection. The food-based nutrients that restore acetylcholine faster than most supplements. If you've been feeling disconnected from your strength, your balance, or your sense of independence, you won't want to miss what's next. And if this information is resonating with you, if it's helping you see aging from a new perspective, please give this video a like. It tells the algorithm that this knowledge matters and helps us reach more people who need it. Because staying strong isn't just physical, it's personal. And sometimes, one chemical spark is all it takes to feel alive again. This is one of the hidden reasons why even small stumbles, slower reaction times, or that unsettling hesitation when standing up become more frequent as we age. It's not always about weaker muscles. Often, it's a fading connection between intention and movement. But here's where the science gets exciting and hopeful. Research shows that one particular nutrient can dramatically reawaken this communication system between your brain and your muscles. Choline. Think of choline as the fuel your nervous system uses to create acetylcholine, the chemical messenger that tells your muscles to move. According to a key review published in Nutrients in 2012, increasing dietary choline can enhance acetylcholine production in as little as 6 to 12 hours, especially when your body is actively trying to stabilize posture or coordinate movement. So where do you get this choline boost from? The answer is simple and delicious: eggs. Specifically, the yolk is nature's richest and most bioavailable source of choline. Just 2 whole eggs contain over 300 milligrams of choline, more than enough to start repairing those neural bridges that control strength, balance, and coordination. This isn't just good nutritional advice, it's a practical protocol. If you've noticed that your legs feel slow, shaky, or sluggish when walking, standing, or climbing stairs, here's a simple morning reset. Eat 2 whole eggs within 30 minutes of waking. For best results, pair them with a lucerne-rich protein like whey, cottage cheese, or even a small serving of chicken breast. Why the timing? Because in the early morning, after fasting through the night, acetylcholine levels tend to be at their lowest. That's when your nervous system is most open to receiving the raw materials it needs to fire on all cylinders again. By supplying your body with both choline and high-quality protein early in the day, you're not just fueling yourself, you're rebuilding the command center between your brain and muscles. So tomorrow morning, don't just eat breakfast. Send your body a message. It's time to move with strength again. Have you ever noticed how a protein-rich breakfast can make you feel sharper, steadier, almost like your legs are more responsive? That's not your imagination. It's your nervous system operating with greater precision, thanks in part to one powerful nutrient: choline. And here's the real breakthrough: choline doesn't just support muscle. It upgrades the actual conversation between your brain and your body. Imagine this: every movement you make starts as a signal in your brain. But for that signal to reach your legs and command them into action, it needs to be translated into a chemical message. That messenger is acetylcholine. And when your choline stores are low, that message gets garbled, or worse, lost entirely. If you don't eat eggs, don't worry. While egg yolks remain the richest and most easily absorbed source of choline, there are plant-based options too. Quinoa, Brussels sprouts, and soybeans all deliver a respectable dose of this essential nutrient. But it's important to understand: the more bioavailable the source, the faster your nervous system can repair and respond. Here's the fascinating part: acetylcholine doesn't just fire your muscles. It plays a central role in memory, attention, and learning. That means when you support this system, you're not just improving your balance or leg strength. You're also boosting your mental clarity, which is a win-win for healthy aging. And speaking of wins, the next major piece of this puzzle is something we often overlook: blood flow. Even if your nervous system is working perfectly and your muscles are primed with nutrients, none of it matters if your circulation isn't delivering those essentials where they're needed. So picture trying to water a garden with a kinked hose. It doesn't matter how rich the soil is. If water can't flow freely, nothing thrives. That's exactly what happens inside aging legs. The arteries and tiny capillaries that once delivered oxygen and nutrients effortlessly start to stiffen and narrow over time. The result: fatigue, heaviness, and slower healing. But here's the exciting news. There's one food, natural and delicious, that's now being researched not only for leg circulation, but as a potential therapy for vascular dementia and chronic fatigue. And in the next section, we'll dive into this remarkable circulatory booster and how it fits into your morning routine. If you're serious about rebuilding strength and reclaiming vitality, subscribe now, because what comes next might just change how you move through the world. Think of your muscles as engines. To run smoothly, they need 3 critical things: oxygen to fuel them, nutrients to repair them, and waste removal to keep them clean. When blood flow slows down, even slightly, all 3 of these processes get disrupted. The result: legs that feel tired before you've even done much. That heavy, sluggish sensation when walking or climbing stairs isn't just in your head, it's in your circulation. And the real culprit behind this slowdown, a tiny but powerful molecule called nitric oxide, or no. This isn't some synthetic compound. It's a natural gas your body produces in the lining of your blood vessels. Its job is simple but vital, to signal your arteries when it's time to relax and expand, letting more blood flow freely. Here's the good news. You can boost your nitric oxide levels naturally, without medication, just by eating the right foods. One of the most effective, beets. Raw beets and beet juice are packed with dietary nitrates, which your body converts into nitric oxide. And this isn't just theory. A landmark 2015 study published in the Journal of Applied Physiology found that older adults who drank beetroot juice experienced a measurable increase in leg power just hours later. The benefits were strongest in fast-twitch muscle fibers, the very fibers you rely on to catch yourself if you trip or to stay steady on stairs. This is not a subtle effect. Seniors showed real improvements in walking speed, balance, and how quickly they could rise from a chair. These aren't just lab results, they translate into a safer, more independent life. Here's how to use this strategy. About 90 minutes before a walk or workout, consume 1 to 2 medium beets or drink 8 to 10 ounces of fresh beet juice. That gives your body time to convert the nitrates and open up your blood vessels. Want to maximize the benefit? Pair your beet intake with 20 minutes of light movement, like walking, gentle cycling, or dynamic stretching. Movement itself stimulates nitric oxide production, and when combined with dietary nitrates, it's like turning up the water pressure and straightening the hose. And don't worry about sugar. Beets have a moderate glycemic impact, and the physical boost far outweighs any mild blood sugar change, especially when timed before activity. So next time your legs feel heavy or your energy is low, don't blame age, blame your circulation. And remember, a glass of beet juice and a short stroll might just change how you move for the rest of the day. Now you might be thinking, aren't beets full of sugar? And yes, they do contain natural sugars, but the impact on your blood sugar is far gentler than you'd expect, especially when beets are paired with a fiber-rich green like kale or a protein source like eggs or cottage cheese. This slows absorption and keeps your energy steady. So don't be afraid of beets, just be smart about what you pair them with. If that kind of practical, science-backed advice helps you, consider subscribing. We're not here to overwhelm you with trends. We're here to equip you with tools that actually work, starting today. Now, let's move to something even more dangerous to your leg strength than poor blood flow, chronic inflammation. Unlike the inflammation you get from a cut or bruise, this version is silent. It simmers beneath the surface, day in and day out. You won't see swelling or redness. You might not even feel it. But it's there, quietly interfering with the systems that keep your muscles strong. And here's what the latest science shows. A 2020 study published in the Journals of Gerontology found that older adults with elevated markers of chronic inflammation, specifically C-reactive protein, CRP, and interleukin-6, IL-6, had significantly lower muscle mass and leg strength. And get this, these changes occurred even when participants exercised and ate relatively well. So what's happening under the hood? Chronic inflammation disrupts mitochondria, the tiny power plants inside your muscle cells. These mitochondria are responsible for generating the energy that fuels every step you take, every time you rise from a chair. But when inflammation is present, their function is compromised. Muscle protein synthesis slows. Oxidative stress rises, and even your nervous system's ability to activate your muscles starts to break down. In other words, your body might still have muscle, but the control system, the switch that turns it on, starts to fail. And here's the twist. The solution isn't in a pill bottle. One of the most powerful ways to tame this low-grade fire is found right in your produce aisle. We're talking about a group of foods that most people overlook, Yet they hold immense power to reduce inflammation, support mitochondria, and restore signal strength between your brain and your legs. We'll explore that category of foods in the next section, foods that don't just quiet inflammation, but actively reverse the muscle-dulling effects of aging. So stick around. The solution might already be in your kitchen. You don't need to look far to find one of the most powerful anti-inflammatory tools for your legs. In fact, it's probably already sitting quietly in your fridge's produce drawer. We're talking about dark leafy greens, nature's medicine disguised as salad. Spinach, kale, arugula, Swiss chard, mustard greens. These aren't just colorful side dishes. They are nutrient-dense powerhouses packed with chlorophyll, magnesium, nitrates, and polyphenols that communicate directly with your immune system to cool down chronic inflammation. And as it turns out, this cooling effect may be the key to unlocking stronger, more resilient legs. Let's focus in on one particularly fascinating compound found in mustard greens and kale, quercetin. This polyphenol has been shown in studies to directly suppress two major inflammatory messengers, interleukin-6, IL-6, and tumor necrosis factor alpha, TNF-alpha. According to a 2019 study published in Frontiers in Pharmacology, daily intake of quercetin-rich foods can significantly reduce these inflammation markers in just 2 to 4 weeks, especially when combined with moderate movement. Now here's the simple yet powerful habit. Add at least 1 full cup of dark leafy greens to your first meal of the day. Why that first meal? Because your body operates on a rhythm, your circadian rhythm. What you eat in the morning sets the biochemical tone for the rest of the day, including how your body regulates inflammation, repairs tissue, and balances hormones. To maximize absorption of key nutrients, like vitamin K, beta-carotene, and other fat-soluble antioxidants, add a small serving of healthy fat. A drizzle of olive oil, a few slices of avocado, or even a poached egg can do the trick. Want to take it a step further? Add a splash of lemon juice or a spoon of apple cider vinegar. These naturally boost digestion and enhance nutrient uptake from your greens. But here's something to keep in mind. This isn't like taking an ibuprofen. You won't feel immediate relief after a single serving. What you will notice, if you stay consistent, is that in 10 to 14 days, your legs may ache less after walking. You might recover faster from light exercise. Your daily energy could feel more steady, and your sense of power in each step may slowly begin to return. That's not just food as fuel, it's food as information. These leafy greens are sending your immune system a clear message. We're safe. You can turn off the alarm. And when that internal alarm quiets down, the body finally has space to rebuild. Up next, we're diving into something everyone overlooks, but it may be the hidden link between your leg strength and your nervous system's ability to fire. Stay tuned. Most people focus on what they eat for muscle strength, but when you eat might matter just as much, especially after 60. If you're trying to rebuild leg strength, timing your meals could be the missing link between just maintaining your muscles and actually growing them stronger. Here's why. Every time you eat a meal that contains enough protein, your body kicks off a powerful internal process called muscle protein synthesis, or MPS. It's like flipping the rebuild switch inside your cells. That's how your body repairs damaged muscle and builds new tissue. The problem? That switch gets harder to flip as we age. This decline is due to something called anabolic resistance. It means that as you get older, your muscles don't respond to protein the way they used to. Even if you're eating what seems like a healthy amount of protein, your body may not be using it efficiently to repair or grow your muscles. And where do we tend to notice that most? In the legs, your foundation for balance, independence, and everyday movement. So how do you overcome this resistance? One of the most effective methods backed by research is surprisingly simple. Spread your protein evenly throughout the day. Instead of saving it all for dinner, aim to include high-quality protein in your breakfast, lunch, and evening meal. In a landmark 2014 study from the University of Texas, researchers found that older adults who divided their protein intake evenly across 3 meals experienced up to 25% more muscle-building activity than those who ate most of their protein at dinner. Why? Because each meal acted like a fresh wave of muscle activation, keeping your body's rebuilding signal consistently strong. Want to supercharge that effect? Try combining your protein-rich meal with light movement, a walk, some stretching, or gentle resistance training. Your body becomes especially receptive to nutrients in the 30 to 60 minutes after activity. This time frame, often called the anabolic window, is when your muscle cells open their gates and soak up amino acids like a sponge, fast-tracking repair and growth. So here's your action plan. Start your day with at least 30 grams of quality protein. Think eggs, Greek yogurt, a protein smoothie, or cottage cheese. Then repeat that rhythm at lunch and dinner. Don't skip the movement either. Even a 10-minute walk before or after your meal can make a big difference. Remember, building leg strength after 60 doesn't always require intense workouts or expensive supplements. It starts with consistent signals. And each protein-packed, well-timed meal is a message to your body. Let's stay strong. Coming up next, we'll look at a little-known vitamin that boosts the power of this process even further, especially in the legs. Don't miss it. Picture this: a bowl of creamy Greek yogurt sprinkled with hemp seeds and fresh berries, or a warm plate of 3 eggs layered with sautéed spinach and soft lentils. These aren't just meals. They're powerful tools. Tools to help your body rebuild, recharge, and reconnect with strength, especially after even the lightest form of physical activity, like a morning walk or gentle stretching. Once you finish moving, timing becomes everything. The next hour is your golden window. During this time, eating a snack or meal that pairs protein with complex carbohydrates can amplify your results dramatically. A banana protein smoothie or a quinoa salad with beans and a drizzle of olive oil is more than delicious. It's strategic. Why? Because carbohydrates naturally prompt your body to release insulin, which acts like a delivery driver, helping shuttle amino acids, the building blocks of muscle, straight into your muscle cells where they're needed most. Now let's talk about a mistake many people don't realize they're making: protein stacking at dinner. While it might feel satisfying to load up your evening plate, research shows that your body can only utilize about 30 to 40 grams of protein at one time to build muscle. Anything beyond that, it may be stored or burned, not used to rebuild your legs. So instead of saving the best for last, spread it out. Your muscles will thank you. And here's something worth remembering. When you align your meals with your body's internal rhythm, you're not just feeding your muscles. You're sending them a message that says, "I'm here, I'm active, and I plan to stay strong." Because muscle isn't just tissue that moves you. It's an organ of longevity, regulating your metabolism, stabilizing your blood sugar, protecting your joints, and fueling your energy. And you now know how to support it. We've explored the benefits of nitric oxide, the role of protein timing, and how food can literally turn on your strength from within. So here's your final takeaway: knowledge is power, but action is strength. And you're just one habit away from feeling the difference. Whether it's changing your breakfast tomorrow or adding a walk before lunch, choose one thing today that sends your body the signal to grow stronger. Because yes, even after 60, even within 12 hours, your strength is still listening. When you understand how to work with your body rather than against it, everything changes. Aging doesn't mean decline, not when you know how to collaborate with your biology. So let's revisit 6 powerful, research-backed principles that are helping thousands reclaim strength, clarity, and control. First, blood flow is everything. It's how your legs receive oxygen, nutrients, and energy. And at the center of it all, a remarkable molecule called nitric oxide. Without it, your muscles quite literally lose their spark. But nature has an answer: beetroot. Especially in its concentrated form, beetroot supercharges nitric oxide production and has been shown to significantly increase blood flow to the legs, sometimes in just hours. Next, let's talk about the endothelium, the inner lining of your blood vessels. This layer is like the command center for oxygenation. And yes, it gets sluggish with age. But certain foods, like those rich in polyphenols, nitrates, and antioxidants, can reactivate this system and reboot circulation naturally. Now here's the secret most people miss. Your fast-twitch muscle fibers, the ones that power movement and protect you from falls, are especially vulnerable to aging. But they're also incredibly responsive. With the right blood flow, the right nutrients, and smart neurological input, they can bounce back and fast. That leads us to the gut. You see, your food doesn't just fuel you. It reprograms the way your brain and muscles talk to each other. What you eat shapes your gut microbiome, and your microbiome shapes your movement. Beets, for example, don't just boost nitric oxide. They also feed beneficial gut bacteria that improve neuromuscular coordination. And finally, meal timing matters, especially when paired with activity. When you eat protein-rich meals within an hour of light movement, you bypass a hidden challenge called anabolic resistance, which otherwise blocks your muscle-building efforts. Proper timing keeps your internal machinery fired up and responsive. Put it all together, and what do you get? A smarter, simpler way to support strength at any age, through blood flow, nutrition, gut health, and meal timing. Your body is always listening. You just have to send the right signals. Here's something remarkable about your body: it's wired to heal. No matter your age, the blueprint for strength, energy, and movement is still inside you. The challenge: giving it the right signals at the right time. That's exactly what we're doing now. Starting tomorrow morning, try this simple yet powerful routine. Begin your day with a beetroot-based smoothie. Add a solid source of protein like Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, or a plant-based option like soy or pea protein. Then, go for a 15-minute walk. That walk acts like a switch. It gets your circulation going, activates nitric oxide release, and signals your muscles to wake up and respond. About 30 to 60 minutes later, have a protein-rich breakfast. Eggs and sautéed greens, a protein oatmeal bowl, or a tofu scramble, whatever fits your style. The goal is to feed your muscles while they're primed to absorb nutrients. That's when your body does its best rebuilding. Why does this work so well? Because science shows that even a single well-timed action, a specific food, a short walk, a properly balanced meal, can unlock real, measurable improvements in your physical performance and energy, especially in your legs. And your legs, they're more than just for walking. They're a mirror of your inner health, blood flow, metabolism, stability, and longevity. But here's the beautiful part. This isn't just about your legs feeling stronger. As the days go on, something deeper starts to shift. You feel more grounded, more energetic, more steady. You feel more you. So I invite you, try this for just a few days. Notice the difference in how you move, how you think, how you feel. And if this message spoke to you, if you see your body in a new light now, I'd be honored if you hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. This community is here to support you, not just to age, but to thrive. To stay strong, stay sharp, and keep showing up fully in your own life. Thank you for watching, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.